Okay, boys and girls, today what we're going to do is we're going to create a boat in Tinkercad. Now, while you get signed in, I'm just going to show you this quick video of what your boat's going to look like when we do finish up. First thing I want to do is I want to change from millimeters to inches, and that's going to be down here at the bottom of my screen. You can see my blue work plane. This is where all of my work is going to be. At the bottom, I can go to where it says Snap Grid. What I want to do is I want to change it from hitting Edit Grid to inches. I want it to be 7 by 7. Then I'm going to say Update Grid. You won't see too much changes, but now each one of these blocks equals 1 inch. Now I'm going to start with a box. This is going to be the base of my boat. And I'm going to make this box, I'm going to make it 3 inches. So I'm going to drag it over so that it says 3 and 1, 3 by 1. Now, if I go around with my Tinkercad, I can move my front, I can see the side, I can see the bottom of it, and it sits right here on this work plane. Now, I don't want my boat to be this tall, so I'm going to shrink it down from 1 inch to 1/2 inch. The next thing I want to do is I want to put on the front of the boat. I'm going to slide down and I'm going to look for the roof. I'm going to drag that over and drop it right in front of my boat. Now, this is not the front of the boat that I want. So what I want to do is I want to turn it. So you can see that I can turn it in degrees. I'm going to stay on the middle of that circle. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. I'm also going to turn it up on its side by 90 degrees. So I'm going to use this back arrow. I'm going to turn it up 90 degrees. Now this will be the front of my boat, but you can see that it's kind of hanging below the work plane. And I don't want that to happen. So what I want to do is I'm going to pull it up so that it sits right on, oops. So it's going to sit right on top of the work plane at 0. Then I'm going to push this down to 1/2 inch. Now I can slide this in, push it in, so it attached to my boat. Next thing I want to do is I want to sit something right on top of my boat. So I'm going to change the work plane. By hitting the W button and clicking on your project, it changes the work plane. So now I'm going to be working on top of my boat. I want another box. I'm going to drag it out. And at any time I can zoom in on my project. I'm going to make this long as well. I'm going to make it 2.5. And I'm also going to flatten it in to 1/2. And again, I can move it around. And you can see that it's not even, so I can push that in a little bit so it makes it even on both sides. Now what I want to do is I want to also flip it around one more time. Moving it around, looks good. We're going to add a little bit more to it, maybe just take a little bit off of it here, just so that it looks good sitting on top of my boat. Making sure that it's the dimensions that I want, and I'll share with you this whenever we create it in class. The last thing that we want to do is we want to put on our smokestacks. Smokestacks are going to sit on the top. Again, I'm going to hit the W button right on top. On this, I'm going to go ahead and choose my cylinder. Click and hold on my cylinder, and these are really large cylinders. Notice how big they are. And what I want to do is I want to go ahead and I'm going to make it 1/4 inch. So 1/4 by 1/4. There it is. Move it over, center it in there. I'm going to go to the view again. Notice how tall that is. I'm going to shrink it down by pulling it down. And again, I'll make this 1/2. And I can copy and paste them by hitting Control and then touching C. And then Control touching V. I can paste them in. So now I have 3.